One of the cool things about working with C# and .NET is that it provides you with some methods that can really cut down on the amount of work you have to do. To demonstrate a couple of these, let's go back to the examples we were looking at in the last lesson. We created an array of numbers, and we created a random number object to assign those numbers in a loop. So we'll do that first. Remember, we can use the length of the array as the means to stop the loop, just like so. And then to compute the sum, we wrote another loop. I'll just copy this loop rather than type it again, and take out the assignment and change it to a new assignment. And let's just display that sum. This may give you a little foreshadowing as to what I'm getting ready to do here. All right, so let's run this program. And the sum is 445. We didn't look at the loop elements. Let's add another loop to do that real quick. It just always helps to see what numbers you're working with. Number sub I plus a space. All right, let's run it again. Of course, we'll get a new set. A little error. Oh, I see. Sometimes IntelliSense picks it up. Sometimes it doesn't. Try it again. Okay. Let's put a console write line. We'll have a blank line right here. Now, another way to get the sum is with a method called sum. So we're going to write the sum from the method sum is plus concatenate numbers dot sum. So let's run this. Okay. So now, rather than have to write a loop to compute the sum, we can get the sum directly from a method, the sum method. Now once we have the sum, we can compute the average divided by numbers.length, like so. That is a property. And then we can write out the average. We'll change that in a minute. So the average is 55. Turns out there is a method that we can use to compute the average. So let's change that. Just like so. Let's make sure everything's looking good. Let's go ahead and add another line. We'll call this the computed average. And then we have the average from the method. Notice the average from the method is a double, and it returns a little more accurate result. And actually, we have a double there too. That's interesting. But clearly, you're getting a more accurate figure using the average method. So I would say use that when you have a choice. So these are just two of many methods that are available. I would encourage you to explore IntelliSense just simply by typing the name of an array and a dot and go through the list and look at a lot of these. There's many interesting methods here that you might find useful in whatever work you're trying to do. It'll certainly save you some time and some trouble. And let me just say one more thing about this. Anytime the computing environment or the programming environment you're working in provides you with a shortcut, an already built-in method for doing something, you should almost always choose it over one you'd write yourself if it's going to do the same amount of work or the same type of work, because the method provided by the programming language has been tested many, many times and is almost guaranteed to work. Whereas your method, while some of these ones you see in this course are simple, more complex ones tend to have subtle bugs that you don't see until you have like a real large data set or when it runs many, many times. So use the built-in methods when they're available to you because they're faster and they're almost guaranteed to work correctly. So that ends this lesson on some special methods that are part of the array class. Now we're ready to move to the next lesson where we're going to talk about passing arrays as arguments to methods and functions.